Okay, so today for today's activity or warm-up activity, you could say, is that we're going to try and guess a number. So this is like you could say like a quick game where students have to try and guess other students' numbers. And first we'll test it out. So I'll try and guess the number of the person recording, and then I'll show them how they get it. Okay, so first I want you to pick a number from 1 to 30. You have the number in your head?
Yes.
Good. Okay, and then I'm gonna show you about 5 cards. You're gonna tell me on every card if your number is on there. If you see your number on that card, you say yes. If you don't see your number on that card, you say no. Okay, so first card, is your number on this card?
No.
Is your number on this card?
Yes.
Is your number on this card?
No.
Is your number on this card?
Yes.
Is your number on this card?
No.
Is your number 10?
Yes.
Okay. Alright, so how I guessed your number. So first there's 2 types of numbers. First is called binary and the other one's called Fibonacci. So this set of cards is the binary. And this set of cards here is the Fibonacci. So first we'll explain the binary, how the binary works. So if you come a bit closer, we can see that, okay, so if we can see that all these numbers here in the top right left hand corner are all powers of 2. So 1 would be considered a power of 2, so we always can have 1. Then there'll be 2, 4, 8 and 16. So what we do first is we write these numbers on the top of the page. Okay, now what we do is, for example, let's say we have the number 10, like you said. So what numbers up the top will make 10? So for example, 2 and 8 make 10. So that means we put 0 here, 1 here because we need 1, 2, 0 here, we need 1, 8, and 0 here because we don't need the 16. So that means 2 and 8 will equal 10. So, and the binary numbers is basically using zeros and ones to determine the numbers you need. So let's have another number. We say 12. So what numbers will we need to make 12? In this case, we won't need the 1, so we put a 0. We will need the 2. Plus 4 is 6, so we put a 1. And plus 8 is 12, so we put a 1 and we put a 0. Now, for these numbers here, we do them from 1 to 30 because that's what our cards will include. They'll include from 1 to 30 numbers. So you keep going, you do it from all the way from 1 to 30 and you put them on the cards. And then that way, and then when you come to make your cards, every number that has 1 underneath these numbers, you put it on the same card. So for example, 10, we put it on the number 2 card, so here, and we put it on the number 8 card, so here. And all on the other cards, there won't be a 10. There will only be 10 on the cards that have 1 under them. So now, if that's how we do it, so that means, so with these ones, so that's how you get your number. And then when the person says yes for their number, you just add the top left-hand box, add them all up to the ones they say yes, and then that will give you their number. So whatever number they choose, you will always get their number right because you're just adding the top corners that will give you the number, because according to this, it matches with the other one. The other one, this one here are the Fibonacci numbers. So Fibonacci is a bit different to binary. So binary is where it uses zeros and ones and it uses the powers of 2. Fibonacci uses also uses zeros and ones, so where you add up the two numbers to get the number, to put the number on the card. But with these ones here, so for the top hand corner numbers, how we get them is that we add the two previous numbers. So we add 0 and 1, 0 and 1 and 2, that we get 3. Then we add 2 and 3, we get 5. Then we add 3 and 5, and we get 8. Then we add 5 and 8, we get 13. 13 and 8, we get 21. So you can go on forever with these ones. But with this one, I've decided to stop at 21. And again, we'll choose the numbers from 1 to 30, and we'll see if we can get the number right. So, pick your number.
Yep.
Is your number on this card?
Yes.
So that's 1. Is your number on this card?
No.
Is your number on this card?
No.
Is your number on this card?
Yes.
Oops. Is your number on this card?
No.
Is your number on this card?
No.
And is your number on this card?
No.
So was your number 6?
Yes.
Okay, so with this one, we use the same method as binaries. We just add up the top cornered numbers, but how we get the top cornered numbers in here to add them up is by, like I said, is by adding the two previous numbers. So let's just say we have 1, the 2, the 3, 5, 8, 13, and 21. So how I get the 3 is I add in 1 and 2. How I get the 5 is I add 2 and 3. So you add the two previous numbers. So they'll be your numbers at the top. This can go on forever. So you can have as many cards as you want. Now from here again. So the number you chose was 6?
Yes.
6. So again, what numbers make up 6? We can say 5 and 1, the least combination that make up 6. We can say 1, 2, and 3, but we want something that's less, that gives us less numbers that add up the same number. So here we can write 1, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0. So that's how we do it. And again, we do the numbers from 1 to 30, just because 30 is a good number, so we stop at 30. Then we can go, for example, 10. We can do 5 plus, actually we can do 5 plus 3 plus 2, which will give us 10. But we can also do 2 plus 8, so it gives us less numbers to add. So we can write 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0. If we had a 1, we would just put basically 1 here, and then 0 for all the other numbers. So if the number's already at the top and we have to make it here, we just put zeros and we just put 1 for all with the number that we need. So that means when it's on the card, they will only say yes to this card. Okay, so this is the Fibonacci. This is a Fibonacci one. Okay, so now we're just going. So we've set out this, and we know what we're doing with those numbers. Now, when we want to make them into cards like this, first we have to draw. Let's just draw a quick box up here. So just depending on how many numbers we need for each box. So let's just start off, for example, with the 2. So in the 2, we have to have a 10 here, so we put 10, and we have to have a 12, so we put 12. So depending on how many numbers we get for the 2, so how many ones there are under 2, that's how much we put in this box. And then you just do another box, and this time for example, we have 1. Then another box, and we have 4. So you just put in the box, you draw all your boxes, and you put in these numbers in the top corner, and then all the other numbers that were with 1, you put them inside the other boxes as well. And then you do the same for the Fibonacci numbers, but instead of having the 4, you'd have 1, 2, 3, then you'd have 1 for 5, and then you'd have 1 for 8. So you make a box for all of them, and then whatever numbers that come underneath, you just put them into those boxes, and then you just cut out your tables, and then that's done. Then your cards are done.